Okay, now after discussing the embedded systems, now there are a few sample question and answers and why these answers are high level and why these answers are low level. So let's very quickly see that what are the questions. Simple questions. Describe the role of registers and buses in a typical computer system. It's a 4 mark question. So always remember we look at the answer, the marks. Discuss 4 ways to improve the performance of a CPU in a computer system. So be clear when it comes to description or discuss, you need to be more, I can say, descriptive in your answers. You need to elaborate so they can score the marks. Now let's see what is considered to be a high level answer. You can see for yourself. As we talked about, registers are data holding places which form part of the CPU. They can hold an instruction, an address, or data. See, so very well explained. First thing is, what are they? They are holding places, or they are the simple locations in the CPU to hold the data. And what kind of data is held there? It can hold an instruction, it can hold an address, or it can hold data. They can be general or special purpose. And then you can see the way the student has answered. He has answered using some bullets talking about the current instruction register. He has talked about the role of every single register in a very organized manner. See, again, accumulator. Let me highlight the registers first, and then we'll talk about them. Memory address register, or MAR, then memory data register, MDR, and then he is mentioning the program counter. And then see, how is it defined? Which stores the current instruction being decoded and executed. Remember, current instruction being decoded and executed. That will give you very good, can say good answer. Accumulator is used when carrying out ALU calculations. It stores data temporarily during calculations. So that is again, by the way, this definition has been coming in our paper quite frequently. So from here you can get a very nice definition of accumulator that is there to hold the data temporarily during calculations. MAR is storing the address of the memory location currently being read from or written to. That is again, if you remember, our book has a table that is containing all the registers, their names and their functions. So it is from the same. MDR is storing the data. Remember, MDR is storing the data. Very important thing that should not be forgotten is the MDR is holding the addresses and MDR is holding the data that has just been read from the memory or about to be written to the memory. So MDR is holding both, whether you are getting the data to be read from or whether you are storing the data to be written to. And that will be as program counter is storing the address of the next instruction. So if you mention address of the next instruction, that is going to be very good answer for you. Then talking about the system buses, you can see system buses are used in computers to carry out functions like address bus and data bus and is control bus. And again, a shortcut to remember ADC. So if in the examination hall you are a bit confused at which is the bus combination, like you may forget, no? In that case, then you can say ADC, address bus, data bus, and control bus. Just a shortcut for us. Address bus is carrying the addresses throughout the computer system. Data bus is carrying the data to and from the CPU, memory, and I/O devices. Control bus is carrying the signals from the CPU to the memory, and all the other components. That is simple, very well answered. Any questions regarding the
No.
registers and the buses? And from here we have revised the concepts also, and we can see that why is it a high level answer and why not why with the examiner will give him good marks. 4 ways to improve the performance. This is what we have talked about, but still, let's see what the child has written in a 4 mark question. So he has talked about the performance in an organized manner, increasing the size of RAM. The first point, as you can see, when you are increasing the size of the RAM, then automatically the system will be able to handle more data and it will not be crashing at all. And then increasing the width of the address bus and the data bus, as we talked about. Thirdly, increasing the clock speed, and fourthly, the using the core. A quad core or a dual core is going to give you very decently 4 out of 4. So this is somewhat similar to what we have talked about. So are you clear about this? Any questions regarding this?
No.
No? Okay, now moving to the next one. You can see the same thing. All the 4 components that we have just discussed. So the child has written all of them in the same manner as you have very, can say, as we have discussed in detail. So I think that is not a problem for you, increasing the clock speed and making the system work as a quad core or maybe dual core also. Although dual core is not a preferred one, quad core is a better one. And or even the higher ones also. Now moving to the, just showing you the low-level answer. Not some low-level answer. Registers are used in computers to store data during fetch decode execute cycle. Example is accumulator. Buses allow the data instructions to be carried out around the computer. So although the child has answered, but the problem is he didn't understand. He didn't understand for a 4-mark question what is the requirement. Same case goes for part B also. He has just vaguely talked about that. See, he didn't describe, he just actually mentioned identify or maybe state that is what he has done. So that although he has done, but he is not going to score the marks because he lacked the concept of describing. You can see almost perfect answer for both parts. Answer is very comprehensive description of both registers and buses. Also provide examples. So this is what we suggest. Although like you get a question, they say describe, so just give the examples. Okay. And why they improve the performance, a very informative answer. And the second one is treated to be not a very good answer because of the reason. Less understanding is shown. Gain 1 mark only for, see, this will give him 1 mark only. For a mention of registers being used in the FD cycle, and also mark for the use of the buses. 1 mark for buses and 1 mark for registers. And then in part B, there's no mention of how the method would be used to improve the performance. So that is why, since he didn't understand, he has to describe. That's why he is not going to gain good marks at all. So I definitely want you people to land into the high level answer so that you are able to get the marks from the examiner. So he is not making the things clearer. After that, there are few can say example questions also for you. So you can attend them and then see for yourself that where are you standing. And this will give you a very good, and a few other questions are in the book also. So you can attempt those also, and that will give you a very good foundation of this topic. Now moving to input and output devices 3.2, let's see that how much of it will we be able to cover. Input devices, we talked about barcode readers. And what is it? Barcode readers can come as a device, and they can even ask about the barcode itself. Series of dark and light parallel lines of varying thickness. And they are representing different values, and barcodes have a value itself that is the key field. And this barcode value will be used to identify this over the computer system. And that is a unique value that will never be duplicated. And once the barcode is scanned through a barcode reader, its value will be searched in the computer system, in the main computer to which all the terminals are connected. The item will be searched in the database, its value will be returned, so the prices will be shown on the computer screen, and or like even it is helpful in the automatic stock control. So for this, what we need to know is the barcode is helpful in performing automatic stock control. Okay, the main thing about barcode readers, by the way, just be very clear, output devices, you are not supposed to study their working at all. Please be very clear. Even if the book is containing the stuff, do not get confused. You need to know the definitions, you need to know the applications, and a little bit of the advantages. Although they are not coming, but still you need to know that how can I compare a barcode with a QR code. Definitely for that, you need to know the advantages of barcode, and you need to know the advantages of QR code, and only then you will be able to answer such a question. Now, very quickly, advantages of barcodes to the customers. So there are advantages to the customers, the advantages to the management. So very first advantage that you can see is automatic stock control. Talking about only a few basic advantages that you need to know. The very first one is automatic stock control. Second very big advantage is that it's faster to change prices on stock items because the change will be occurring only once. You are only going to change the prices on the main computer. You don't have to change the prices on each individual item. Through that, you can keep a very up-to-date record of the sales that has happened, or even you can know about the sales trends, that what is the recent sales trends in the among the customers. You don't have to price the way I talked about, possible to check customer buying behavior also. And then you can introduce some loyalty schemes also based on the customer's buying habits. So maybe whatever they are buying, based on that, we can offer them some extra points, or we can offer them some other things also. So through those things, barcodes, the management is going to take advantage. Now, barcodes to the customers, very big advantages. The people do not have to wait in longer queues because the queues are going to be faster moving. Errors are reduced to a great extent. Customer is getting the an itemized bill. Cost saving can be passed on to the customer, because whenever the work is done better for the management is also always giving the advantage to the customers, and better track of sell by date is also present, so the foods are always fresher. So whenever there's some can say something that has been can say um, has passed through the can say the life, it will be definitely found easily that that is no more can say feasible for can say eating, and that is possible also. Now, QR code is another type of barcode. Now, be clear, it's another type of barcode, and that is made up of a matrix of filled in dark squares on a light background. QR codes are holding more information as compared to the barcodes, as you can see. So if even you do not know the values, that's perfectly okay. If you still know, if it's really going to be good, that you can say it is going to hold up to 7089 digits or 4296 characters. But if you don't remember, no worries at all. If you still say that QR codes are holding more data, then that's perfectly okay. And then what you need to know is QR codes are used to advertise the products. Barcodes are needed for automatic stock control, and QR codes are needed for the advertisements. And they are giving access to the websites. They are there to help in the boarding passes electronically at the airports and other users also. And how is it being accessed? For a barcode, I mean, I don't have a barcode reader. I being an individual do not hold a barcode reader, but talking about QR code, I can very easily install a particular app, and I use my camera or smartphone to read the QR code, and I can visit the website. I can get some of the can say benefits also just by can say reading the QR code, and that is the biggest advantage. And the moment you scan the QR code, you are taken to the website, to the app, and they are opened on the smartphone, and you do not have to type the URL. Basically, that is a very, very big advantage. So hold in more information, very few errors are going to be there. So advantages of QR codes are being discussed here as compared to the barcodes. So you can see, hold much more information, fewer errors are going to be there. QR codes are easier to read. They do not need expensive laser or LED scanners, the way I said. Easy to transmit QR codes either as text messages or images. That's what the people are nowadays doing. They are sending their QR codes to the people. Possible to encrypt QR codes, which gives them greater protection than traditional barcodes. Disadvantages: more than one QR format is available, and QR codes are always there for transmitting the malicious codes. I mean, always a probability of you getting the malicious code. So, any questions regarding barcodes or QR codes?
No.
No. Now, digital cameras. Here we can see the digital cameras are basically taking the images, and they are sending to the computer. You can store them in a computer using the USB port, and you can transfer it through Bluetooth, and they are stored on the computer. They can be transferred to the people. They can be transferred through the internet. And the advantages are, if some picture you don't like, you can delete them. It can remove the red eye. It can do a lot of things. It can decrease the cost also, that is that was utilized with the traditional earlier cameras. Because in order to get the pictures made, we had to take them to a shop. We had to have it, I can say, printed. And that was tedious, that was time consuming. But now digital cameras are making our life very easy. Now, last but not the least is my keyboard. And here we can see, without the keyboard, we cannot think of any computer system, isn't it? Like, even if you
Yeah.
talk about a smartphone does not have a physical keyboard, but it has a virtual keyboard. So that is what you can see, that keyboard is considered to be the standard input device. And there is no, like, although we have virtual keyboards, we do use touch screens, but still the I can say the importance of keyboard is never underestimated. We are always going to be there. Important thing about keyboard is every character on a keyboard is having its own ASCII value, the one that we talked about. And this one a computer is able to understand. And the moment you press any key, the computer knows that which key has been pressed because of the unique ASCII value, because of the unique binary value. And that is how it is interpreted and displayed on the screen. One important caution while using keyboard is we have to be very cautious about the posture, about the use, because if you are doing it for longer time, then it may result in a very serious injury, and that is RSI. That may lead to RSI, repetitive strain injury. Okay, so that is going to be a problem, that it may result in repetitive strain injury or RSI. Okay, any questions?
No.
Microphone is again microphone. You need to know. By the way, one more thing is microphones will be used by even the like I can see say microphones are a basic input device that is going to take the input of the voice signals, and that can be converted into the computer binary values also by using some mechanism that can be used to even input the text to a computer. Nowadays, we have applications through which we are speaking and the words are converted into the text and they are displayed and stored on the computer. They can be used by even the doctors because maybe the microphone through microphone they can give instructions. The microphones are a very important device that can be used by the blind people. So although actually one more thing which is not here in the book, but let me tell you, there's one keyboard that is called the Braille keyboard. So I'm writing down the name here. So you can see that Braille keyboard is used by the blind people. So if the question, because this is Braille is a language that is used by the blind people. So this is again a question that can come in the paper, talking about any situation given to you and you're asked it, which is the right input device and which is the right output device, etc. So right now, since we are talking about input devices, that's why Braille keyboard is a very correct option to be used in case of people who are unable to see, the blind people. And similarly, microphones is also a very important input device that can be used by the blind people or even by the visually impaired people. So a question can come in different styles, and you should be very aware. You can see, for example, it is going to be beneficial for disabled person who cannot use a keyboard or for doing voiceovers on presentation slides and so on. So the way we are presenting, so we are using our microphones, like our microphones are being used for the purpose. So I think this is very clear description. So inshallah, we're going to have a session, inshallah, next in the next class. Also, we'll talk about more of input and output devices, and we'll continue with the data storage also in the next classes. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Jazakallah
Yeah.
khair, Kasira, for being a part of the learning journey.